Bob Sink, who's one of the students of this work who's been around a very long time, has recently re, um, uh, reworked the Rudy speeches from years ago, clarifying them, making them much more distinct. And I've been listening to them, and it was really interesting. One of the things that I experience is the urgency that he expresses, the anger, the annoyance, the incredible directive to achieve, to get there, to attain a goal, and and how annoyed he'll be with students who are not lining up, doing the work internally. His classes were very potent, powerful, aggressive in a way, but transformative. And as those of you who know my own story, I was a very determined meditator and sat every day for 44 years. And somewhere in that 44th year, I said, what am I doing? And I realized that I was trying to get somewhere. And after 44 years, I had yet to get there. I wasn't even sure what there was. And so I decided to stop sitting. 2 weeks later, with a lot of stuff in the works, I had an awakening. And I realized, among other things, that the goal of most meditators, including me, was to achieve and have and get, and in some ways be ennobled, if you will, by the practice. And the awakening was there's nobody to awaken, there's nobody to get there. You are there right now. We are all there right now. But without the effort over time that Rudy talked about, that would never have occurred to me. The failure of getting there was ultimately the great teaching. Because there was nowhere to get, I have always been there. And not only I, all of us have always been there. And there is not somewhere exactly in time and space, it is somewhat outside of time and space. Time and space percolate in the center of it, but it goes way beyond time and space. And that is our true reality. It is our true nature. It is our true being. And I think Rudy was aware of the amount of time and energy and effort it took to stop trying, to finally wake up and be what you are. Rudy died when I was in my 20s, late 20s, just turned 30, in fact. Um, and so, how this would have unfolded with Rudy's presence, I don't know. So, I have only my own journey to look at, and I can only relate to that. I do not express Rudy's anger at my students. I don't express the same urgency. I feel it in a way, and I know that that is a form of teaching. It is not the form that I inhabit. I have decided to go with awareness and love. And I have learned through Rudy how to transmit awareness and love. And I am using a tool and a practice that for 44 years, every day I worked with. Would I be able to do any of this without that? Probably not. So there is a certain kind of demand and urgency in the practice of this work, of trying to get somewhere that you are. And it's crazy in a way because they contradict each other on some level, and yet they are totally complementary. Trying to be a good person is easier in a way than just being a good person. Not really, but if you know what I mean, walking around as a good person is an attainment. Trying to be is the work. Trying to love people is probably in some ways more potent for most human beings than actually loving them, because the trying is a muscle. It is an effort. It is an effort that has purpose. And when it reveals itself in its fullness, you will discover that you not only do love people, you are love itself. It's an amazing revelation. You are kindness itself. You are the very thing you would like to bring into the world, and you have always been that. So why aren't you doing it? Or why aren't most people doing it? Well, millions of stories out there, and we're all part of those stories. We are all part of a journey of trying and failing over and over and over, and getting caught or living in what the Buddhists call ignorance, which is not even trying. Gimme, 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 I want, ego, 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 me, me. That's a source of unbearable suffering in the end. And yet, very few people are awakened to the possibility that there's a space beyond that, beyond the me and the my, that there is a place to get to in yourself. Now, for me to tell you that that place is there and has always been there is kind of meaningless, because there's still a kind of effort involved. How do I become nicer, kinder, more loving, more available? When in fact, at the core, that's all you are, but niceness, kindness, loving, all of those things. But what obstructs all that? Well, it's the nature of time, space, and in the world that creates duality, that creates struggle and drama, that has possibly greater purpose. It certainly makes the world what it is. And the world has always been a place of drama, struggle, and conflict, always a place of the potential for growth into something greater, whatever that may be. But it is often misunderstood as more comfort for me, more success, more availability to wealth and all of the joys and pleasures that life seems to offer. It's a total misunderstanding of the nature of the human journey. And for one reason, every one of those achievements is temporary. You may arrive at great comfort and pleasure and wealth and all the things you were looking for, and then discover as they start to take it away, and they do take it away, and the they is an interesting sort of phenomenon, whatever they is, takes it all away. Your comfort, your health, your body, your mind, your sense of the world, your sense of purpose, your sense of having tried so hard and done all these things, but like it's nothing. They take it away. And the part of you that gets left behind, if it's not aware and has not worked at the kind of goodness and love and awareness that you are, is going to be deeply lost and frightened and terrified of the loss of all that meant something to you. How do you rework that? How do you find another way into the idea that letting go is actually good for you, actually comfortable for you, that you can find a place inside that makes you grateful, one, to be alive in this moment, willing and open to the truth of reality, whatever it may be, and however dark or strange it may become, because that is what life does. Why? Well, read the philosophers if you want to read the philosophers. Why is life like this? But one possible thing one can say is it offers inspiration to transcend it. It offers inspiration to go deeper. It offers inspiration to find the nature of what brings you into a place of wanting to be rich, famous, comfortable, and live forever. How do you get past that illusory need in yourself and find something that will sustain you and sustain others in the course of your lifetime? Well, the key to that is usually suffering, unfortunately, or something that really comes at you and wakes you up. Wow, this is a totally mistaken idea of how to live life. And most people, I'm not going to give absolute percentages, but I'm going to go like 98% probably live in a world of profound illusion, profound disorientation, believing in all the wrong things, having moments of real pleasure that sometimes touch on love, which is kind of like, wow, wow. But then that comes through the doorway of pleasure. The idea that love is there as a background, is there as a reality, and not just as a occasional little moment, but as a oceanic truth of your being, that's rare for people. That's very rare for people. And why is it rare? Because we're all looking in the wrong places for all the wrong things to attain something that we already are. That's a problem. And how do you get people past that? Well, you as a group right now are already past that because at least you're sitting and listening and looking and asking and trying to get this energy. And this energy is, it is a real living quantity. It is oceanic, vast, and powerful, beyond the mind, beyond understanding. And it comes through and it goes to you just for sitting and asking. And what it can do at some point is get you past the place of making you comfortable and making you spiritually wise and full of sort of whatever it is you think you want to be full of. It can finally humble you down into an incredible sense that I already am the very thing I am seeking. And then you get very humble, you get very quiet, and you get surprisingly available to the universe, available to other people, available to the people in your life, available to your own bodily self, and available to the life process. It's an extraordinary journey. This is what we are doing. It's why we're really here. Very, very, very few people are on that path. And I think it's why Rudy would get so angry watching people trying to get there, trying to have this thing so they could be more and better and more, whatever, idealized and idolized and perfected. No, it's not about you at all. It is about the reality that the you is the least important and the greatness of what you truly are is what is really important. And if you can find your way to what you truly are, your life will have proven to be, we'll call it miraculous because it's so rare. It's so rare, but it happens. It happens. Now, we are living in turbulent times, as they say, um, difficult times. My friend Perry wrote me the other day, who was living in a retirement home, and he said the people there are suffering because of what's happening in the world, and he wants me to say, help him. What can he do or say to people who are suffering and dealing with, the upheaval of the universe around them? And that's a hard one to come up with. What do you say, actually, especially to people in their 70s, 80s, 90s, where the work has yet to begin, where they haven't really offered themselves up to this larger process and are sitting just in fear of dissolution and fear of watching the world fall apart. But first of all, it might be worth noting, Blanche and I watched a TV show the other day on the first human beings to move into the Western Hemisphere, and it's really fascinating. Just the drama, the drama of human beings moving into a new world, into a new land, and it was not friendly. It was really painful and full of suffering and difficulty, and it was part of the journey that we all, as a species, took to get to a point where we have cars and electricity and warm houses and all of the stuff we have right now. But it was 10,000 years ago, not that long really. And all these people were trying to find new land and then find how the best ways to kill these huge creatures that existed at the time for food, and then learning how to grow food. And I mean, it was extraordinary. Our lives are nothing like that right now. Although, although our lives are challenged and strange things are going on around us. We're in the realm of the dictatorial, the authoritarian rule. Now, that is not a new thing on planet Earth. It's not new. And you have to really understand that those kinds of forces work over and over and over in this system. It's horrible on every level because truth becomes lies, lies becomes truth. Nothing is what it's supposed to be. However, in those times, for what it's worth, go back to the Roman empire, if you will. Who arrives to help us at that moment in time but a man named Jesus of Nazareth, who comes with a profound teaching that changes the entire world. In China, one of the people who was of that class, of the kingly, princely class, said this is wrong and sat in the woods for 6 years trying to figure out what really matters. In times of great upheaval, of great drama, of great suffering, of great sadness, whatever is going on in our world, it has in the past, and I suspect will continue in the future, to give rise to greater wisdom, to great teachers, to great people who can try to lift us up out of the darkness that surrounds us and into the light that pervades existence, that comes before the mind, that even comes before the body, if you will. There is this exquisite, radiant being that precedes all of that and will work its way into the system that we are in and will produce salvation, if you will, over and over and over. And any one of you looking for salvation, if you're looking to somebody out there to give it to you, that's your choice. I think Rudy would. Teachers in general who have real love and care for their students would tell you that's inside you. The salvation you're looking for is inside you. In terrible times, the salvation is not going to be in the newspapers you're reading. It's not going to be into the intellectuals on TV who are telling you this is what's going on and that's what's happening, or looking at your phone or your computer and trying to get some advice about how to get through the day. The wisdom you are looking for is in yourself. And so Rudy, feeling the urgency of that truth, used to get angry at us to sit down and be quiet, open, ask for help. He would say help to surrender to the what is. But the what is not just the world around you. The what is the beauty of being that is at the core of who you are. That's what the what is. And if you can find your way into the what is, you will have found the very thing that will be, if you will, salvation for you, if you wish, but something you can bring to others. And that's what we're here for. And I go to that every week. I know I say it over and over, but sometimes are more urgent, if you will. I think Rudy saw that in the period where I started studying with him in the late 1960s. You know, he already was talking about the urgency of do it now, get there, do the work, take a breath, ask for help, find a way to go beyond your ignorance, yourself that is reaching for all the wrong things in all the wrong places, because it will not ultimately pay off. And now that I am teaching from a position of age, which Rudy did not arrive at, I am seeing the truth of the teaching, and I am really seeing what happens when your body falls apart, the relationships you have start to go into struggle and difficulty, when the world around you becomes politically unstable, when the environment around you is changing dramatically and hurricanes are beyond anything we've ever seen before, when you're staring at all of that and your mind and body are going, whoa, 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 calm down, take a breath, ask inside for help to surrender. And I promise you, because I have been doing this for 60 some years, help comes. Help is waiting for you. 1 ounce of sincerity, 1 ounce of truth, 1 ounce of saying, I need, please help me. It wants to help. It wants to help. And you are worthy of being helped. You are worthy of being part of the vastness of being that you already are. So you don't have to really do as much as you think to realize that you already are in a place to be of love and kindness and service to the human experience. You are already there. And if you don't feel that you are already there, then do the work and ask for help, because that's what it's going to show you. You can do it. You are the gift you have always wanted to find. You are that. Now's the time. So, sending love to all of you. This is not a easy journey right now, but don't make it into like it's never happened before. The world has always been thus. It can get ugly. Things can get uglier than they are. They probably will. And your need for centeredness, structure, uh, trust, and awareness is essential right now. Just essential. So find it, be it. And if you need, call me. I'll say the same words over again, or write me, or whatever. I'm just here to repeat this ad nauseum, but it keeps coming from a place that is not past tense. It's coming from present tense. It's for you. It's available to you. Take it and enjoy and run with it and share it wherever you can. Thank you. Okay. Um, the usual comments, criticisms, worries, fears, hopes, ambitions.
Chris,
Yes.
I sat through a teaching this weekend, and the similarity of what Rudy used to teach and what this Buddhist teaching was is that the only person you can ever really change is yourself. And we're all distracted by trying to change the world around us when it's just an excuse not to work on ourselves.
Uh,
So
I would somewhat agree with that, George. Uh, but I'm telling you, if you get to the point of quote unquote changing yourself, if you get to the point of some realization, there's nothing left to do and there's no change left. And what happens is the being in you that has been evolved, if you will be a change agent in the world. It really will be. And it's not like you have to go out there and change the world. I don't even like that idea. You just have to go into the world and be a force of the very thing you've learned to discover, which is kindness and love and joy and all of that. So it's not like you're trying, it's not like you've been given a mission. It's just be what you are. And the idea that the teaching is to try to be or to try to get or try to have, I find that to be misguided, honestly. It's just open your heart to your being and then be. Anyone else? Okay. Uh, Next week, we'll keep this thing going. As I say every week, if you've had enough, you've heard enough, and you get it, then just be it more than do it. And if you still want to hear more or just reach out, this connection is vibrant and vital in a way, and I think it has a way of impacting the environment, and I think it's a good thing to do. So people gathering in my name or in the name of helps the world. Love you all.